Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Today we have Dandelion Girls, Dandelion Boys. This is apparently a song from Demo 2. I only know Demo by name. I've never even seen gameplay from it. All I know is that it's a game. I might have seen some sort of a trailer for it, who knows how long ago, but I wouldn't remember anything about it, and I definitely don't have any experience with the game, so I'm going to get to hear at least a portion of what this game has to offer stylistically in its music, and I never would have guessed that it was Mili being involved with it. A lot of people wanted me to get to this one, as is obvious when you see the like count on this comment by Moltax, so of course, without further ado, let's go! That kind of caught me off guard with how explosive that was. But now we're in the vibes. Okay. I'm already putting together what the story is about. They're not being shy about it. Oh, this is kind of bridging the stylistic gap of recent Mili stuff I've heard. A little bit more like some of the stuff in Library of Ruina. Maybe they were written at a similar time, stylistically very similar. This trial was a dreaming to pierce through the armor tip of my bayonet. This life that I decided was less worthy of respect. This world that I hope to reach as I threaten this truth, somebody's in net. This doesn't pursuit of me, everything that I say is safe and good. The drum mix on this one's actually really different. Not in a bad way, but like... It's a lot more muted, but like... It might just be the miking technique for that. Sorry, I'm focusing on a weird factor like that, but like the cymbals are very clear, but everything else is kind of like muffled. Kind of following that thought though, the drums mixing technique is just kind of a very specific to me detail, because I really feel like their mics are super close for like the overheads and the cymbals, but like, cause there's like the swells in there, you can really hear like one of those swells at the end, especially, you can like hear the mallets on the cymbal. It's that close. So it's either they're super closely mic'd, or it's using a lot of room noise and a lot of room miking, which for those who don't know the miking technique of drums, that's something you can do. You can either get the cymbal mics really down close, those overhead mics that people use, and you can get that detail from it. Or you can put microphones out into the room. You can also do them at the same time, but just for sake of this example, you can put mics into like a further back area, farther away from the drums. It captures the whole sound of the drums and usually captures a little bit more of that tactile energy, a little bit more of that initial punch, that transient sound when something gets struck like a drum. So you get a lot more of the mallet sounds, the stick sounds. It's really good for that, and blending that in there, getting a lot of that like natural room reverb That's why they're called room mics. But the overhead mics are usually not that close. And I feel like that's just a technique thing they went for this one. For whatever reason, either the drummer who is recording has a home studio and it's just like a small box recording studio, and that's just as far away as they can get them, so they work with it. But that kind of works for this. Like, it feels a little too comfortable, a little bit too close, which kind of makes the theming of this song a little bit more haunting in a way. Like, I've heard other songs, like I mentioned, this reminds me a lot of other ones, like Poems of a Machine from the Library of Ruinous stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. It's very possible they were done in a similar frame of time, or just given that it's the same band, they just had a similar tone for two completely unrelated tracks. That happens often enough. So it really could be anything. I just wanted to make note of that drum thing because I thought that was super cool, and there might be a deeper reason why they mixed it and mic'd it so close or so intimately. Like, there might be a specific themed reason to this song, and especially that intimacy would play into this, given the whole theming is like about war and questioning it and like having to deal with that emotional toll. And that sort of message is not something that Mili has ever hidden from. Their songs are almost always dark in theme, and they do that very well, bridging that poetic energy alongside this very blunt upfront concept of just like the, hey, we're speaking to you, bitch. Like, it's very, upfront and honest, and that's very, very nice to hear a lot of the time. I've always enjoyed that about their music, because while poetic, it's not super vague like a lot of musicians try to be, and it's like that you can be poetic and not vague. You can also be extremely vague while being poetic. You can definitely do both, but I love that Mili does all of that. Like, every single song has a different approach to how they handle that relationship in the lyrics and the music and how it all ties together. And the theming for this one and some of the phrases that were in here, like the whole prove me wrong thing, it's like, you can't, right? You can't prove that people aren't that full of themselves, that the ego doesn't exist, that we wouldn't continue fighting even if there was no real reason to, because it's our nature to continue fighting. They were able to ask that question and have you go, well, I don't like that you asked me that question, but it's a valid one, like it's making you reflect on your own humanity. And that's something that Mili has done so well before. It gave me a lot of like Grave of the Fireflies energy. Like, this song could totally work with that sort of a theme. And I'm sure, given the imagery here, it probably is, going for that same sort of war thing. I don't know the relationship of these characters, what's going on there. I was able to kind of piece it together, what they're doing with the story, and it definitely feels like war is a big part of it. So I assume that's gotta be something to do with these characters. They're probably caught up in a war. I don't know the story of Demo or anything, so I'm kind of lost on that side, how deep that may go. But the vibes of it, the lyricism, it's all very blunt, it's upfront, it's Mili doing Mili things, it's Cassie writing the way Cassie does, and just the drums in this one specifically are very specific. And the reason I brought up the whole mixing thing earlier, completely unrelated. This, though, there's lots of impacts in here, a lot of heavy hits, and it's very aggressive. So I feel like that energy is something they specifically wanted to have. They wanted their drummer to kind of shine a little bit. They wanted that aggression to be very obvious in this song, not to mention the whole theming of it and the energy, that frustration coming through. The drums would be a great reflection of that. So there's a lot in this song. The music, of course, always great from Mili. We all love Yamato Kasai's composition here, like, so great. Cassie's lyricism, Yamato's composition, and in this case, the drummer being a very instrumental piece, no pun intended, of the group is like, that's really nice. Having all of this just make thematic sense. The whole concept of dandelions pushing up through the weeds, through the ground, even though there's nothing else growing around it. Like, despite everything, weeds will grow, things will continue growing, but maybe not exactly what you want to grow, because dandelions might be beautiful to some, but they are a weed. So there's a little bit of that like thematic question mark, you're just like, what's going on? Do we want the dandelions to grow? Are they a good thing or a bad thing here? And the title of Dandelion Girls, Dandelion Boys kind of makes you wonder the same thing, like, if that is supposed to be a parallel to the people who are going through these scenarios and dealing with this. What are they seen as? Are they seen as weeds, or are they seen as flowers that are supposed to bloom through the crisis? We don't know. We never really get that answer in the song. As per usual, there's so much. There's a myriad of thematic things that Mili's doing, and this is a really beautiful song. Love that theming. Again, huge on the Grave of the Fireflies energy for me, but I have been yapping about this one for a while, so I think I will call it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have another song you want me to get to from Mili, or anything from Project Moon, Lobotomy Corporation, you know, the usual stuff I get to, if there's something I haven't gotten to from those that you want me to, let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you don't want to do any of that, and maybe you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!